Okay, everyone, today we have a short but very important reading lesson. And this is for those of you who sometimes finish a book very quickly and you think it was very easy and maybe you didn't find it challenging at all, which happens. It definitely happens. But I did hear somebody say something like that about Mercy Watson, which came as a surprise to me. So there's a piece of advice I want to share with you today on how you can get the most out of a book that you're reading. So we've talked about all of these things before, right? And we talked about stopping, thinking, and retelling, right? Retelling the story, making sure we can summarize, we can tell somebody else what happened in the story. The last one for this slide, which is really the most important for me, is this. Use stop and jots to remember ideas. This is really important. I'm going to show you what I mean. So when you jot, you write something down quickly. So let's say you're reading Mercy Watson and you see something you're not sure about. For example, I'll start from the top. Pardon me and all, said Beatrice Leopaglione, but I'm seeing things kind of wonky. Now you should probably stop there and stick a note in there. What does wonky mean? If you put a note in here, you can remember that you weren't sure about the word and you can ask somebody later, or you can try and figure it out later. Or when we get to dictionaries later, you can remember to look it up. So you've got to leave notes to yourself. And then, if we go further down, her name is Mercy, said Mr. Watson. She is our darling dear, said Mrs. Watson. I'm not sure pigs are allowed at the Bijou. Now look at this. Does everybody know that this is pronounced Bijou? Probably not. And the writer does this on purpose. She puts a lot of difficult names and words in the book to make you slow down and ask. Because if you don't know how to read it, how are you ever going to learn? Okay, so that might be a good place to put a note. And then, actually, said Mr. Watson, she is a porcine wonder. Whoa, how do I say this and what does it mean? I'm pretty sure many of you did not know the word porcine. So just from this one page here, which doesn't really have a lot of sentences, there are three things that we should make a note about. Okay? So we can find out the meaning and we can find out how to say something, how to read it. That's what I mean by stop and jots. You also might see a really good idea that you like and you might want to use for your writing. Well, you can put a note here and say, oh, I'm going to use this later. Okay, we're going to talk a lot about stop and jots. I'm going to show you how I use them as well because I even read books that have new words in them. So what I want you to do is if you see words that you're not sure about or you see a great idea that the author has, maybe a nice opening, or maybe there's a word that you don't know how to pronounce, how to read, put a sticky note there. Write down your question or your idea. Jot it down. Write it down quickly and then we can go over it later. And we're going to talk about how you can solve words that you don't know. But for now, this is a really good strategy, okay? Stop and jots. Okay, and that's it for now. Be sure to keep reading no matter what you have. And I look forward to talking to you soon. The end.